And I'd like to now invite Mr. Jayant Kapre, Vice President, Breads, Cake, Rusk, and Adjacency Businesses, to unfold the excitement with the new category launches and adjacent business. All
Thank
yours.
you. Good evening, everyone. I've spent only a year at Britannia, so 1 year out of the 100 years. So I'll keep that in mind and keep it really short. I'm here to talk about adjacencies, and that is bread, cake, and rusk. But they're not so young as businesses. They're relatively small compared to biscuits, but they are really important in terms of the size they are. So bread, not many might know, is 6 decades old. Cake is 5, and rusk a little more than a decade. So when we want to be total foods company, we definitely need to start with solid steps in the adjacency businesses. Just go to the next. So we want to break through in these categories by driving penetration and adoption. These are big categories to be expanded in various parts of the world. Just to give you context, cake in India is 1/15 of biscuits. And so that tells us that there's a long way to go. That's not an easy task, however. It requires a lot of actions, and that's something that we want to do. And we can do this by creating relevance and generating excitement for these categories. It's not just going to happen by wanting it to happen, and therefore we need to really do a lot of things. How are we going to do this? We're going to do it by 2 things. The first of which is creating mega brands, super brands as we are calling it, for each of these businesses. You've seen the start of that with Britannia Rusk becoming Britannia Toasty this year. And that's the beginning of the journey in which we create brands for each of these spaces. During the rest of the year, of the rest of the 100th year, you'll see a lot of such work happening on cake and then subsequently on bread as well. So that is the first big step. The strong brands create the platform to bring consumers in. But what do we need to do for them once they come in is innovation. A lot of innovation is what we're going to drive, and that is going to be the key to success. So a lot of the endeavors of this team are completely around revitalizing the portfolio, generating a lot of new products out there, and making sure the consumer always reaches out for a Britannia brand as its first choice. What that is going to translate into is more innovation in cake and rusk this year than the entire history of these brands. So that is really huge in terms of what's going to come on cake and rusk. So look forward to a lot of action. Can we see it, please? Let's take a look at it. So clearly a lot to look forward there, and I hope you all enjoy the products that are launched and we make them all really big as we deserve. We're investing a lot of money in all forms, in manufacturing, in advertising, in developing these products. So there's a lot of energy going out there in our 100th year. So it's really very good for us to be doing that. But that was about the categories that we're already in. We are also looking at new categories. We've talked about wanting to be a total foods company, and we want to make that dream real in the 100th year itself. So we're taking big steps forward. We're going to enter multiple new food categories. So we're going to make sure we do it very carefully, we do it thoughtfully, but we don't want to waste time doing one category a year. We're going to attack a few categories right away in this year itself. We've set up some outstanding teams, outstanding projects, and cross-functionally to make sure all of these happen. And you should see a really exciting new range of products. Yeah, so that was the first launch. I hope all okay. I think perhaps, and this is exactly the kind of thing we need to control to make sure the excitement is very measured, and we launch it quite carefully. I think this is something that the chairman and Varun keep telling us, to do things in a measured manner, and good point there. I think one of the reasons why we need to do all of this, it's not simply a big statement that we want to do it. The reason we need to do this is because we want to target and capture all snacking consumption occasions. And the youth are a prime example of that. That the youth want new things, they're looking for new things, and if we don't give it to them, others are. And therefore, it's not only about wanting to do something new, protecting our business, and planning for growth. And that opens up consumption occasions like out of home, on the go, and helps us to target all consumption, all snacking occasions whenever and wherever they happen. So that's what we're going to bring, lots of new action, all of which is going to happen by the end of the year. So watch out for it. In terms of products, you're going to have more than enough. The main thing is to execute well and make sure that we make a big bang of all of these launches. Let's take a look at it.